Alright guys, sorry about that. It started to hail just a little bit, which they were predicting it. And I really don't want to pay updated insurance and stuff on my truck. I'll do a couple things on this video. I'll show you what I pull this four-wheeler with. I don't really pull it. I set it in the bed of my truck with my tailgate down, bump it up against my toolbox. Those teams I was mentioning about, RBP, that's a sticker. And then I've got my green. Like I said, I love green. My garage door is slicker than owl snot. Is DF Dub ATV. There's a lot of members on that. But basically what this is a 2012 Ram 1500 single cab short bed express edition. It's not by any means the blackout edition. They didn't come out with a blackout edition until I think 2013 or 2014. But from the back it looks stock, and that's doesn't sound stock, but it looks stock. When I bought it used, it had this on it. It had the chrome 20s on it. I went and bought some XD 20-inch wheels. I was going to do a lift kit on it, but then decided not to because I didn't know if I was going to get a new truck or not. And I paid this one off and decided I'll keep this one. It's only got 150,000 on it, so it's still got some life to live. This is my second set of Nittos. The last ones I had 80,000 on it. They're the Nitto G2 Terra Grapplers. They are a 33. I have done the blacked out headlights. I did that because my stock ones, they were starting to yellow inside and they were starting to peel right in here. I got the blinker amber delete. I've done the front of this. I did limo tint. That's why you can barely see inside of it. From the back, if I turn at night, you can't see any of it, but you can barely see it in the back. I've done a shift kit in the transmission. I blew the rear end out because I used to drag race with it. When I first got it, I was stupid and I was a kid in 2012. 6 years ago. That was when I was 20. I blew that out. I put a Detroit locking rear end in it. Put new axle shafts in there. I did the, I can't remember which one I did, but it was it's the electronic locker, 393 rear end gears. Now the guy that had it before me, I guess, wanted to play with it, so he put a 6.1 cam in it, 6.1 liter Hemi cam in it, but he didn't change the lifter, so I went in and a lifter collapsed on me. And I put new lifters, Hellcat lifters. I went and found a junk 6.1 that was out of a car. I think it was out of a Challenger. I can't remember, to be honest with you. He didn't put the lifter, the push rods in it, so I put the push rods, the springs in it. I've done that to it. I've done a K&N cold air intake on it. That one was a freebie. It was kind of funny because one of my buddy's dads, he wanted to, he bought a 2012 and he didn't like the sound of the intake, and he said, hey, I got this intake. I don't really want it. Do you know anybody that wants to buy it? And I told him I'd swap him intakes for it, so we just swapped intakes and I gave him $100. The reason I was freaking out earlier in the last video is because last year, I don't know if you can see the dent right there. Some real bad wind came up and dented my truck right here. Hit a tree limb, hit it, grazed off of it, messed up the hood pretty good. I fixed that. It grazed off the top here and landed in the bed of my truck. And I could not figure out where that tree limb came from because my truck was parked right here with the tailgate backwards because I had my 300 in the bed of my truck, or was going to have it in the bed of the truck for the next ride. But as you can see, there are hardly any big trees in my neighborhood. That one down there, but it was much bigger than that. The sucker was about an inch thick and it was an oak tree limb. That random tire sitting there, that's what I butt my front end of my four-wheeler up against my toolbox with. I do have a Kolpin gun boot mount for when I go to the ranch. I do deer hunt. I won't be posting any of those videos because the way YouTube is getting nowadays. Somebody will report you. You'll go to YouTube jail, this, that, and the other. I just don't want to deal with that. I will do a view of what guns I use, what guns I have, how do I like them, stuff like that. Maybe it'll get some likes, I don't know. The main reason for me doing this is to finish my video of my Rancher 420. Like I said, I've done a couple things to it. Now, the people at Miller FX Whips and Miller FX Light Bars, I've ridden with them. If you're looking for a good whip, a good light whip, they make all several kinds. Like I said, I've got a green one that was on my 300. I love that one. I hadn't decided what I'm gonna do with it yet. My garage is a mess. I missed trash day 2 weeks in a row. Sorry about that. I just moved into the house 3 years ago, and I'm just now getting to the point to where all my bills are paid off from moving in and all the setup and everything. So that was fun, buying a house for the first time at 23 years of age. But moving forward, this light bar, I do have it set up with dielectric grease. I ran all the battery connections. It's sitting right there. I'm probably going to move it because it gets a lot of mud and water. I have the little connection sitting right over here, the little toggle switch I got from them as well. It's sitting right there. And I want to turn it on. Now my controller took a dunk, so it doesn't work everywhere, but this, I can slow down the speed. I can speed it up, as you see there. Now the modes, so you got that's a light purple. It shows up as a deep purple on here, but it's got yellow. It's got a bunch of different ones. It's got over 300 functions. I mean, these things are amazing. Now this, I was saying earlier, the only issue I've had with it is you can see these white. They just show up white. Now I ran over it with my BKTs like an idiot. But if you press on it, see, it'll turn colors if you press on it. It'll turn the color that it needs to, but it won't cycle through. I messed something up in there. Like I said, I've had 2 of them. The first one has no issues. It's just a solid green color. But you can go through here and you can change the colors. Just to give you an idea how bright this thing is, I'm going to turn off my garage lights. I've got LED garage lights. And I'm going to use the backdrop in the back just as a reference. Of course, my phone is not going to pick it up very good, but just to give you an idea how bright these things are. I mean, that's the multicolor function. They got a bunch of... Now, they do have a 5V. I do want to get the 5V, but this one works. And I come from an era... I grew up with my grandparents and my great-grandparents, and their philosophy was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, I'm going to show you how bright this thing is. Now you can see up at the top it's red. I will actually do this number so it turns blue, if it'll do it, if I push it right. Okay, there it goes. It went off. Okay. So it's just going to go off. So just to give you an idea how bright this is. I mean, it's pretty bright. That's the color, the green color that my other one was. It's got over 300 functions, like I said. I mean, you can speed this thing up to where it throws it real fast. You can go down. Now, my controller here, I'm gonna come turn on the lights and open the garage again. Sorry, I'm sitting in Crocs and trying to walk through this wet pavement here. It has since stopped raining, but my controller took a dunk, and I'll explain that. When I mean take a dunk, I took a dunk. I was doing something pretty funny. I was in a mud hole, and I was kind of scared to be in it. I was in 2-wheel drive. I was doing water wheeling and really good. I've been through that mud hole several times that day out at River Run. If you know where I'm talking about, it's the Healy pad. Everyone runs through there. That little deep mud/water pit area over there. It's full of sand and stuff, and they wash their wheelers off and their rides off. And I had them in my waders up top. I had them kind of like, it's Velcro. I had it Velcroed up on here, And I moved it and I put it in my shirt pocket that I had, and I was water wheeling and I bottomed out. My buddy in front of me decided he was going to be a doofus and he was going to spin his tires in there and dig all that sand out from there. And that's the only disadvantage to having a single rear axle, is you can bottom out. And I bottomed out and the water was up into here, up over the fenders, and I could not get out in two-wheel drive. This was before I knew my four-wheeler would idle underwater. And it kind of took a dunk and it destroyed all inside. Water got all inside because I didn't take a swim, but I caught it. It came out of my shirt pocket while I was bending over to try to put it in neutral so I could put it in four-wheel drive. And it took a dunk and it landed, and I didn't notice it until I drove out of it. And it was sitting like this, something like that, in my floorboard, and it was soaking wet. So now really the only functions I have is menu, speed, and mode. I don't have add DIY, delete a DIY. And this all comes when you buy one of their deals. It comes with the remote. The remote's like $6. I'll buy it at the next ride. I'm not really worried about it. The next ride I'm planning on going to is Mud Jam 10 2019 at River Run. I've been trying to hit up Swamp Ass and Shorty, the Koo Cajun, trying to hit them up. I've ridden with some other people, but I've been trying to hit them up because they seem like they're pretty fun to ride with, and they help everybody out. And they ride four-wheelers. I ride with a bunch of side-by-sides, so it's kind of, don't get a lot to do a lot of this stuff that Swamp Ass and Shorty and everyone get to do. But I did say, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last video, I did say I was doing a radiator relocation kit. I went with S&S Customs. That guy was really, really good, really helpful. I talked to him for like 10 minutes. He had to go to church, so I had to let him go, but he took down all my information. It wasn't a bad price. He did a custom cut for one of my buddies. But it comes with everything. It comes with all your mounting hardware you'll need. It comes with your extra overflow line, your extra line for the radiator. Instructions. This is really thick, high grade. It comes with zip ties too. High grade American steel. He plasma cuts and everything. It's thick steel, real good. It comes like this, so you have to paint it. I'm waiting on the powder coaters. I'm not going to install it just because I don't want to airlock my block. But that's it right there. It's got a bass, it's got a duck, a turkey, and a deer. Like I said, I do a lot of deer hunting. That's my life in the winter besides riding four-wheelers. I don't do a lot of winter riding because I'm a baby when it comes to cold. I do not like being cold, and I do not like being wet. So if I have to be cold and wet at the same time, it is not going to happen. Now I do have my Culpin gun boot off of the four-wheeler right now, just because it is going to the shop after I go skiing in Colorado next week. I'm hoping to have my new camera by then. I've been videotaping on my phone. I've got a couple videos I need to upload, but I'll see if I can't get those uploaded and edited. But that's basically it, guys. I do have other things, the stuff that I'll upload another video. Some people ask me what I go riding with, and I'll show them what I go riding with.